You don't know what's out there.
Hong Kong was having a normal day until a huge tsunami struck unexpectedly, turning calm streets into chaos. The water rose at a terrifying speed, flooding the streets, crashing into homes, and sending people running in panic to find safety. But the water was far faster than they were. Only those who managed to reach very high floors survived. 5 years after the disaster, Asha still wakes up every day from nightmares, reliving the fear and terror she went through. Yet every morning she forces herself to forget that fear and continue her life as if nothing ever happened. She lives in a tall, half-collapsed building, hiding inside her apartment, which is filled with secret hiding places. Since the disaster, she has collected whatever the water failed to take away and hidden it in strange spots, such as a hole beneath the couch. Every morning, she goes up to the rooftop to collect clean water from a secret place she keeps hidden. After a cup of tea, she listens to the radio. Not the government broadcasts talking about supply-filled refugee centers. She prefers listening to music through headphones, so she makes no noise and does not attract attention. She then takes a towel and gathers dew from the rooftop, storing it in her water tank. She keeps checking the bottles to see how much water remains. Her anxiety grows because it has not rained for a long time. After finishing her routine, she sits down to eat noodles, remembering the past when she used to dine in fancy restaurants with her friends. She then uses her binoculars to observe her surroundings. All she can see are the tops of buildings rising above the water. Sometimes, an entire building suddenly collapses. She also watches the few neighbors who are still alive. There are not many of them. Suddenly, she notices a box floating on the water. She rushes to a prepared window, equipped with a special fishing rod she built to catch anything drifting by. When the hook catches the box, something beneath the water pulls it with incredible force, slamming Asha against the glass and cutting her arm. She does not panic. She ignores the pain and keeps fighting. When the creature finally lets go, she pulls the box inside. Before she can celebrate, the creature sends a huge wave crashing into her apartment. When she opens the box, it contains nothing but useless junk. However, she finds a bottle of alcohol, which she uses to disinfect her wound before bandaging it. That night, as she sits quietly, she hears screaming and sees 2 boats full of people attacking nearby neighbors. A man standing on another rooftop looks straight at her. Asha immediately hides. When she looks again, she sees one of the boats heading toward her building. She quickly hides her belongings, tidies the bed, and scatters dust across the floor to make the apartment look abandoned. Then she slips into a secret hiding place inside her wardrobe and remains completely silent. The group breaks in and searches for food. They rummage through every corner, even opening the wardrobe where Asha is hiding, but they fail to see her. Suddenly, a gunshot rings out. One of the men thought he saw something and fired, but it was a false alarm. When the group finally leaves, Asha breaks down in tears, trying to calm herself by thinking of pleasant memories, such as the day before the tsunami. The next day, while scavenging, she finds an old box filled with items from the past and feels happy when she discovers a jar of honey. Her joy quickly fades when she sees a corpse floating in the water. While she is distracted, someone sneaks into her apartment and begins searching through her hiding places. At first, Asha notices nothing and tries to ignore the sounds. Later, as she prepares for bed, she hears another noise. She grabs her flashlight and cautiously checks again, but finds nothing. She then washes her face and deliberately leaves the soap out in the open, hoping it will help her catch the intruder. Sure enough, she discovers a young girl hiding inside her apartment. Asha grabs the girl by the shoulder to ask what is going on, but the girl kicks her, breaks free, and runs off, taking several items with her, including the flashlight Asha made. The girl runs down the corridor and almost opens a strange door before Asha catches up. The girl runs again and disappears. The next morning, Asha notices that some of her stored food is missing. She follows a trail of empty wrappers on the floor until she finds the girl sleeping, still clutching the flashlight. Asha does not wake her. She quietly goes to prepare food. When the girl wakes up, she starts poking around the apartment, searching new hiding places for more items. She finds a socket cover concealing an envelope filled with old photos of Asha and her sister. Suddenly, Asha enters the room. The girl panics and runs away while Asha hurriedly gathers the photos and puts them back, not realizing that one photo has fallen. Later, Asha cooks noodles again and brings the food to the girl, her mind drifting back to her sister's birthday. That night, their parents gave her sister a necklace. Asha, as the older sibling, felt it should have belonged to her. She became angry, argued with her mother, and stormed out of the house. Back in the present, Asha now has the necklace, but the girl refuses to eat and leaves. Asha leaves the food where it is. After a while, the girl returns and eats everything. When the girl discovers that Asha has left a mattress for her to sleep on, she decides to return all the items she stole. The next day, Asha prepares 2 bowls of noodles and leaves one for the girl on the rooftop. The girl quickly climbs up and begins imitating Asha as she collects water. They both laugh, and that laughter brings back warm memories for Asha of happier days, when the world was still whole. That night, the girl decided to sleep on the second mattress beside Asha. She cried softly, and Asha said, "It's okay to cry. It's okay to be afraid. We all get scared." The girl said she missed her family and was sure she would see her mother soon. She was building a boat to go look for her. She introduced herself. Her name was Hai Hai. After a difficult night filled with nightmares, Asha took Hai up to the rooftop, and they began spending every day together. Hai played with the door. She peeled off the tape Asha had used to keep it from locking, and the door closed behind them. They could not open it from the outside. Asha got upset, but Hai surprised her. She actually knew how to pick locks and open the door in seconds. Later, while Asha was cooking, she suddenly noticed her necklace was missing. At the same moment, she heard noises. She looked out the window and saw the gang had returned. She quickly told Hai to stay quiet and hide until they were gone. When the gang finally left, Asha protected Hai, and the girl asked, "Can't we escape together?" But Asha refused, saying, "This is my home. There's nothing waiting for me out there anyway." Then she asked Hai if she had taken the necklace, but Hai said no. Hurt and angry, Asha ran off. That night, Asha sat alone and noticed the water level had dropped. When she checked, she found that Hai had used the water to wash her clothes. That moment reminded her of the day she heard that a tsunami was going to hit a neighboring country, and of the argument she had with her mother, who wanted her to marry an Asian man, while Asha had an English boyfriend. That same night, Asha's nightmares grew worse. She saw countless corpses floating in the water. When she woke up, she realized she had started confusing Hai with her sister. Sometime later, she showed Hai how to use the electricity in the building, but the girl paused and asked about the door at the end of the hallway. Asha told her to stay away from it. Behind that door was a room that smelled terrible. If it was opened, the entire place would stink. This triggered another memory. A time when Asha was watching the news and the reporter said that Singapore had completely sunk due to flooding. Her mother turned off the television and told everyone to focus on the upcoming dinner party, but Asha did not go. They argued again, and Asha said she felt suffocated before storming out of the house. Back in the present, Hai was listening to the radio when she suddenly heard a message about a safe place. She ran to Asha and urged, "Let's go there." But Asha refused, saying it was too dangerous to leave their shelter. They argued until Hai shouted, "You're a coward," and stormed off. Asha ran after her and found Hai building a raft out of old materials. Hai had also found a flare gun. Asha quickly took it and confessed a secret. She had actually tried to escape once before, but the outside world was terrifying, so she immediately came back. After making peace with Hai, another memory struck her. The day her sister ran after her during a family argument, begging Asha not to leave. Asha said she had to go, but promised they would see each other again. The next day, it finally rained. Asha and Hai rushed to the roof, collecting and storing as much water as they could. While working, Hai noticed that Asha's necklace had fallen. Asha also found an old photo she had lost long ago. Hai comforted her, saying, "We have each other. That's what matters." That night, when Asha went to bed, she found a surprise under her pillow, the necklace. It had only fallen earlier, but its clasp was broken. Asha felt a deep sense of guilt for how harsh she had been toward Hai. The next morning, she woke up and began building a real boat. When Hai saw it, she was overjoyed. Asha then remembered the fight with her sister. How her sister had been trying to tell her that she had put the necklace into Asha's jacket pocket. But before she could explain, people suddenly started running and screaming. A massive tsunami was approaching, swallowing the streets. Back in the present, Asha decided to give Hai the necklace as a gift. Together, they gathered supplies and loaded them onto the raft. As they prepared to leave, Hai was listening to the radio when the headphones suddenly disconnected and loud music blasted from the speakers. Asha rushed to turn it off, but it was too late. The gang outside heard the noise. Panic set in. They began hiding everything as quickly as possible. Asha hid Hai inside a secret compartment behind the wall inside the closet. Only one person could fit there. Then Asha hid herself in the foul-smelling room. The gang climbed in through the window. Asha barely managed to slip into the stinking room in time. There, she found old photographs of her family. That was when she realized this was actually the same apartment she had lived in years ago. This time, the gang was far more violent. They smashed everything in sight. One of them entered the smelly room, gagging from the stench, but continued searching. He pulled away some old sheets and, to his horror, discovered the rotting corpses of Asha's parents. The sight was so revolting that he backed away in disgust. Asha herself nearly vomited from grief and horror. Her mind flashed back to that terrible day when the flood took everything, when people were pushing one another desperately to survive. She remembered grabbing her sister and running into a building. They ran up the stairs. Crowds of terrified people were behind them, all struggling to climb to higher ground. Back in the present, the gang stole all the food and began going through Asha's old photographs. One of them noticed something strange about the wardrobe. He called the others, and together they broke through the fake wall and found Hai hiding inside. Asha was still in the ruined room, frozen with fear, hearing everything that was happening. Her mind spiraled back to the past, to the moment on the staircase when her younger sister tripped and fell. People stepped on her without realizing it. Terrified, Asha kept running upward, unaware that her sister had disappeared in the chaos. When she finally reached the rooftop, she believed everything was fine, not knowing that she had lost her sister forever. Suddenly, back in the present, Asha heard Hai crying in fear, accidentally revealing her hiding place to the gang. They caught her immediately. The shock caused Asha to faint. When she regained consciousness, she found herself tied up, and one of the gang members tried to assault her, but their leader stopped him and ordered him to leave her alone. They took Hai and all the supplies, dragging Asha onto their boat as well. When Asha saw Hai, memories of her sister flooded back, and deep inside she knew she would not let it happen again. She tried to loosen the rope, but the man yanked it hard, causing her to fall into the water. Luckily, there was a broken cylinder nearby, which she used to strike him. The man became enraged and tried to drown her, but after a brief struggle, Asha managed to pull a flare gun from her pocket and shot him, killing him instantly. The gang heard the gunshot and rushed back into the building to look for her, but they could not find her. When they split up to search, a large man heard Asha crying and followed the sound, unaware it was a trap. Asha had set up a slippery rope trap, and he fell immediately. She grabbed a piece of metal and smashed it over his head repeatedly until he stopped moving. She then ran quickly into another room and turned on the radio. Another gang member heard the sound and came to investigate. Asha attacked him from behind and stabbed him with a knife, but the man was strong. He got back up, started hitting her, and threw her onto a mattress, trying to strangle her. Fortunately, Asha managed to grab the knife again and stabbed him several times until he stopped moving completely. Then a woman from the gang heard the noise and found a box with fire burning inside. Asha took advantage of the moment, splashed her with oil, pushed her into another room, locked the door, and left her to burn inside. The gang leader heard the screaming and rushed upstairs. As soon as he reached the top of the stairs, Asha jumped on him and began stabbing him. They fought fiercely. He struck her several times and tried to choke her, but Asha grabbed a neon light from the wall, smashed it over his head, and kept hitting him until he died. She left his body in the darkness. When she turned on her flashlight, one of the gang members suddenly appeared and began shooting at her. Asha ran to the rooftop, and the man followed her. As soon as he stepped outside, she slammed the door shut behind him and trapped him. The boy began begging for help, speaking in an innocent voice. Asha almost believed him, but suddenly he started shooting at the door again. She left him there. Now only one gang member remained, the one on the boat guarding Hai. Asha tried to strike him through the window with a spear-like weapon, but she missed, and it fell into the water. The man leaned over to see what had happened, and Hi-Hi tried to push him off the boat. He grabbed her, and they both fell into the sea. Asha panicked and jumped in after them to save her. The man resurfaced, but suddenly a sea monster appeared and devoured him. After a brief silence, Asha and Hi-Hi resurfaced safely and began swimming toward the boat. They decided to sail into the open ocean, confident that the food and supplies the gang had stolen would be enough to last until they reached the safe place they had heard about on the radio. That night, Asha slept peacefully for the first time in years, free from nightmares, and with that the story ends here. The calm beyond shows that fear can trap you more deeply than any disaster. Holding on to the past may feel safe, but it can stop you from truly living. Healing begins when you choose connection and courage over isolation.